friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a new concealer from Tarte. This is the Tarte C Hydrocealer Concealer. C like S-E-A. Remember their Rainforest of the Sea line, which I actually really liked. I'm kind of wondering if they are rebranding the Rainforest of the Sea line as just C. Those are just random thoughts of a makeup lover. Sort of a guess, an assumption on my part. I don't really know, but I guess that would make sense. This concealer is currently available. I purchased mine from Sephora. It's $24 for the full size. The one I have here is a full size product and it has 6 grams. You can also buy a mini size. The mini costs $10 and it's only 1 gram. This is a pretty terrible deal as far as price per gram goes. The minis are $10 per gram. So value-wise, the minis are a pretty terrible bang for your buck. I do like that they offer the minis in every single shade. Often we see a mini version of a product only offered in a select few shades among the spectrum. This Hydrocealer is offered in 30 shades and you can actually purchase a mini of any of those 30 shades. So while I appreciate the effort put into really full spectrum inclusion in the minis, I would not recommend getting a mini size, but it's up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, I'm just giving you the info. So I'm going to read you some of the information that Sephora provides as far as the claims for this product goes. I'll show you a demo, I'll show you a wear test check-in, and then I'm going to wrap up all my thoughts on this concealer at the end. So let's start with the claims. According to Sephora, this is a medium coverage natural finish concealer made to move with your skin, to cover imperfections and hydrate for up to 12 hours. So the main takeaways here are medium coverage, hydrating, and long wearing. According to them, they also say that this product contains marine plant extracts, vitamin B3 niacinamide, and caffeine. The Hydrocealer is vegan, cruelty-free, and gluten-free, and they also say that it comes in recyclable packaging. I don't know if they mean the actual plastic container that this is in, or if they're just referring to the outer carton. Here's a close-up look at the Hydrocealer packaging. We have a nice, sleek plastic container. This is pretty lightweight. There's a sticker with the shade name on the back. And then the top here feels sort of like a soft touch matte, but it's a little bit smoother than, for example, NARS packaging, so I think this would wipe clean a little bit easier. When we look inside, there is a really slim, pointed, and slanted doe foot applicator. This is more of a precision type applicator versus their Shape Tape, which is more for dispensing a lot of product. This is more for targeted application. Now that we've gone over all the product info, let's take a look at the demo and wear test, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. So I wanted to start off just by giving you a close-up look at my absolutely clean, bare face. That way you can see the blank canvas that we're starting with, and we can compare at the end what my bare face looks like compared to applying the concealer. I'm using the shade 14N Fair Light Neutral. I'm first going to apply that to 1/2 of my face, just swiping on some concealer and then using a damp beauty blender to blend it in all over, just where I want some coverage. I'm not wearing any foundation, no tinted moisturizer, nothing underneath. It's just the concealer on right now. That way we can get a look at what this coverage truly looks like on its own. So here is 1 layer of the concealer on half of my face and then nothing on the other half. You can see how it's brightened up a little bit. Of course, I'm going to go back and even this out, applying the same amount to the other half of my face, just swiping on some concealer all over the place and then blending that in again with a damp beauty blender. Side note, I wish that I could actually blend my makeup this quickly. This is on 4 times speed, and if I could blend this quickly, I would be set for life. So here is a close-up look at my face with just 1 layer of this concealer all over. It's definitely a little bit evened out, it's definitely a little bit brightened, and I feel like it looks nice and natural, very moisturized, hydrated. It's great for dry skin for sure. I'm going to go back and add a second layer of the concealer just in places where I'd like a little bit more coverage. And again, just blending that in a little bit. This isn't quite as heavy as the first layer. So let's see what the coverage looks like close up now with 2 layers. I do feel that the coverage improved with a second layer. It's still not a medium coverage in my opinion, but it is nice and buildable. So let's take a look at what 2 layers looks like versus my completely bare face. You can tell it evened out some of my redness, some of my spots, and it still looks very, very natural on the skin, at least in my opinion. So obviously I have completed my makeup. I've only been wearing this concealer for about 4 hours, but my filming windows are really short now that my family is home all the time. So 4-hour wear test is what we're getting today. I'm sorry that it's not longer. I did put on top just a little bit of bronzer, blush, and a lot of highlighter. I put a little bit of powder right under my eyes here to prevent shine because I am filming all day today. But otherwise, I did not set my face and I did not use any setting spray. So let's take a close-up look here. Now, I did have these little blemishes on my chin. You know how it goes. I feel like a lot of my little red spots and bumps and stuff are still very visible. They were during the demo and they are now. The redness around my nose, which I think most people experience this redness around their nose. I do know this is particularly a common problem for women. It looks somewhat covered up. It's definitely still visible right around my nostrils, but I will say I'm not getting any concealer bunching up in that area, which is a common problem for me, especially because I did do 2 layers on my nose of this concealer, so I'm happy to see that. My chin is often a really, really dry area for me, especially because I do have these little breakouts, so it's a thing. It happens. And I think this concealer looks pretty nice, pretty smooth. I'm not really glowing, I'm not glistening with dew, but it doesn't look dry, it doesn't look flaky, so I'm fine with it. Now let's go to the under eyes. Keep in mind this was 2 layers of coverage and I can still see my little blue vein that I've had forever and ever. And you know, it's still visible. It's definitely a little bit of coverage there. Can still see very clearly all my freckles. I can still see a little bit of, you know, darkness in this under eye area. I got a little bit of creasing right here. But I also didn't do that much powdering. I just touched a little bit of powder right here just because I'm filming. Forehead's another really dry area for me. And I think the forehead looks great. This is probably the happiest I am wear test wise with this concealer because I have these little forehead wrinkles. Well, little. And I'm not getting product bunched up in here at all. This is a very thin consistency, and so it has really avoided a lot of those sinking into lines areas. So that's that. The finish is really, really nice. The coverage isn't really there, but the finish is nice. It looks hydrating. It feels good. I do have to disagree with one of the major claims. This Hydrocealer claims to be a medium coverage concealer. I would not say that it's medium coverage. I would say it is light and buildable. I did notice a difference when layering on a second layer of this concealer, and the coverage is fine. Personally, I'm somebody that does like a little bit lighter, more medium type of coverage in my makeup overall. So I would say this is just below where I would want my concealer to be coverage-wise. I will agree with the hydrating claims. It looks great and very, very smooth on my skin. While this is really hydrating, it feels good and I think it looks good on my dry skin. It's not a really dewy, really radiant finish to the point where somebody who doesn't have a dry skin type would find it too hydrating. I can see this working for a lot of different skin types, not just dry skin, but personally I will be probably using this in conjunction with another concealer. I like to mix my concealers a lot, especially since I've been not wearing foundation and just doing tinted moisturizer or just a mix of concealers. I can see myself using this to help add some hydration to a concealer that has great coverage but maybe is a little bit too drying for me. It's definitely a product I'll continue to use, but it's not necessarily something that I'm gonna be like head over heels go-to product or anything. Now's the time when I want to hear what you guys think about this concealer. Is this something you're interested in? Have you tried it? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye! I don't want to use the word highway robbery. So, what am I talking about? Help! Hydrocealer. I have tried to call this Rainforest of the Sea like 10 times in this video. Okay, where was I? Great. I hope any of that made sense because it felt like a hot mess. You know, I bought the full size of this because I regretted buying the mini of the Maracuja tinted hydrator, their most recent tinted moisturizer that they put out. I loved that. I bought the mini of it and I regretted not buying the full size, and then I bought this one and I wish I had done it the other way around. That product's a lot better than this one. Sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry actually. That is just the way it is. Whew. Okay. Okay. I gotta go. Gotta go film some more stuff for you. But I just love your face. That's all. Bye.